Okay, let's start that over, right? Welcome to today's episode of Between Friends. I'm Eileen Roche, co-founder of Dime and a longtime embroiderer. You're here because you love embroidery as much as I do, and you're probably looking for some tips on how to be a better embroiderer. My advice to you, number one, is to embrace software. If you haven't taken that leap yet, now is the time to do it. And why would you wait to expand your embroidery skills? There's a very affordable software that's powerful and easy to use. You can jump right in and get going on becoming a better embroiderer. So I'm going to introduce you today to the Embroidery Toolshed Plus. Many of you may already be familiar with it, and it may be new to some of you. It is the most powerful, affordable embroidery software on the market today. And it's on special today with a great price. And you don't have to wait to get started to have it shipped to you. It's downloadable. So we're going to do some of these images that you see on the screen where we have a single design, and we're going to change the colors, maybe change the sequence, rotate, merge, do all kinds of fun stuff. We're going to do more than that. So wait till you take a look. But today's product that we're talking about is embraced by embroiderers all over. Like here we have a 5-star review on our website from Orland, who says, when they first got Embroidery Toolshed. So now that would be our free program, Embroidery Toolshed. Embroidery Toolshed Plus, you do purchase, but it's very affordable. And it has a lot more features than Embroidery Toolshed. So we'll talk about that, and you'll take a good look at it. But, Orland was absolutely blown away and still learning how to use it. But the software is a game changer, they said. So I love that. So the special price, it's only $129.99. And it's an instant download, so you can start playing with it right now. I hope that you will take advantage of it. So I'm going to take you into the software, and we're going to start right with the 17 fonts that come with it. So all of these fonts are built into Embroidery Toolshed Plus. There's even a monogram wizard. So I'm going to just make sure that everybody is doing okay in the comments, because we kind of had a little bit of a rough start. I don't know if you noticed it, but we actually scheduled this broadcast for 1 a.m. this morning. But it seems like everything is going fine, thank goodness. But lots of you are talking about how cold it is where you are. I think the entire United States, north of northern Florida is really cold. And here in Texas this morning, I think it was 13 degrees, maybe even colder. I see Creative Appliques is viewing. She's up in the Norfolk, Virginia area. I have family there. And yes, they did get 10 inches of snow. That's right on the coast. It's very rare that they get that much snow. So it's a snow day all over the country. I hope that many of you are safe and that your power is on and your heat is on and all of that. So, oh my, lots of things to be concerned about with the weather. But if you are comfortable in your home and you're just hanging out with me here on YouTube or Facebook, you're going to learn all about Embroidery Toolshed Plus. So these are the 17 fonts that come with it. So I'm going to switch computers here so I can have more control over what I'm showing you. What you're looking at right now is the realistic view. When I turn that off, then you just see the stitch view. So I always like to show it in realistic view because it looks more like embroidery, right? Now, at the top toolbar, there's all kinds of icons up here, and they're familiar to you, right? You have the new, you have open, save, print, up. But what's that one? Send to machine. This Embroidery Toolshed Plus software will send your embroidery design to your Baby Lock and Brother embroidery machines with just a click of that. I mean, you can load multiple machines. So if you're blessed in your home with more than one, you can name them and the software will find them. And I think we'll do some of that in a little while because I have a machine on over there. So, I mean, that feature alone is worth the $129.99, I can tell you. Okay, next up is the slow redraw. And now I just have my 17 fonts here, but what does that do? That's going to let us travel through the design. You can see the order these would stitch out. I doubt you're going to be stitching ABC on one piece of fabric, but you might if you want a stitched representation of the fonts that are in Embroidery Toolshed Plus. And then here we have, after that, we have a cut and copy and paste. So the cut and copy are not highlighted because I don't have anything selected. You'll notice that my cursor over here has the select tool engaged. So now when I click on ABC, notice how cut and copy and paste now are all activated. So I can cut that and it goes away, and I can paste it and it comes right back, right? Oh no, what is that? What am I doing here? That's copy. Okay, so we'll go to paste. Well, you know what? When you mess up, this next icon, the undo is your friend. So there you have it. All you have to do is double click that, or as many times as you need to go back, and it will correct whatever error you made. You can even go forward and redo, which is the next arrow. This window here tells you that the image that you're looking at is 47% of its actual size. As you can read in the top, it says the width of this whole design, now that's all of those ABCs, is 17.6 inches in width, and the height is 7.3. So if I were to put this at 100%, then you're not going to see all of the design in the window, right? Because my screen is smaller than 17 inches. So I just quickly go to fit, and then it will fit into the screen. These icons are also helpful. Here you have an icon to take you to tutorials. This tells you the activation and about and so forth. And then notes is really very handy. So here I can write in this text box and say ABC monograms, right? And save that, click apply, and it appears here. So now this is not embroidery. This is artwork, and it's just there for you to make a note on the embroidery design page. And if you were to print that out on, in template form, it would be very helpful to have a note on there, possibly. It's never going to stitch. Your embroidery machine is not going to read that artwork, but it's a helpful tool for you for sure. Anyway, so that's one of my favorite features. All right, let's go on the next line of text. I'm just going to remove that for now. And here we have our text tool. So let's go ahead and click that. And well, let's start a new file. So we'll click the text tool. And when I click into the screen, I want you to notice how my cursor has changed. Instead of just an arrow, it now has a capital A right next to that cursor. See how? So that's telling me, the embroiderer, that I have the text tool engaged. And when you click on the workspace with the text tool engaged, it's going to drop the letter A of the last font that you used. You don't want to use this font anymore? No problem. You just move your cursor over to the font window, and you can double click on, or just click once, and all of the images of the fonts that are included in the software, now that's 17 of them, are going to be visible in this space. And you can see how 14 of the 17 show upper and lower case, while 3 are just uppercase. Well, actually, it's 4 that are uppercase, and that's because they are specifically monogram fonts, the 3, and the other is a puffy font, and so that's just available in uppercase. But super easy to use, right? Really easy to select another font. So I'll just go ahead and click on that Bauhaus, and we'll just write Embroidery Toolshed and click apply. And notice that other A that I had dropped on the workspace is still there. So I'm going to select it and then just hit delete on the keyboard. And I could also go back, select it, and click the cut icon, and it'll go away. Now, I want to know what kind of characters are available in that font, and it's really easy to do. So I just hover my cursor over that window, and it's going to show me I have all uppercase. Let's put that back there a second. All lowercase. I have the numbers. I have a lot of punctuation, and I have a European, or what I'm going to call European characters, right? Or other language characters. And I'm not fluent. I'm a true American. I'm not fluent in any other language but English. So forgive me for not knowing that. How do you access those characters? Well, that can be a little tricky, but yet on Tuesday, Ashley Jones did Software Success, and she taught all of us how you access those characters. I was totally blown away by that. I didn't know how you did that. So you can watch her Software Success. It's on YouTube and Facebook from Tuesday, February 18th. And her title, the whole topic of the day was mixed media, but she delved into this. And I'm going to show you here now how to do it. So I'm going to down in Windows, right? As you can see down here, this is Windows. This doesn't have anything to do with the software. It also operates the same on Mac. I'm going to type in here, character map, and it comes right up. And so I'll just select that. And look at all the options, all the different characters I can select. But, I'm just going to go and take, maybe this accent on the E. And I'll say select, and then I want to hit copy. And I'll close this character map window. And right here on embroidery, I'm going to remove my existing one and then do copy, paste, and there it is. Now I'm going to backspace to get that back in line and click apply. And there I have that accent over my E. How cool is that? I just love that. We all learn from Ashley Jones. And if you're a software user or if you're not, and you're going to purchase Embroidery Toolshed today, I encourage you to use Ashley Jones as a great resource. Her Software Success videos that she does twice a month here on the Dime platform on both YouTube and Facebook are just a wealth of information. I learn from her all the time, and I'm sure you do too. So isn't that awesome? Yeah, she's really great. So let's see. What are some of these comments that folks are saying? Linda Berg, she says she's finally on a live. Welcome. I'm glad you made it. And that you love all our software. And Donna Marie says send to machine only works on machines with Wi-Fi. That's right. That's true. It's a wireless transfer. So the machine has to be able to receive it. And currently, we are only working with the Baby Lock and Brother modules. We're working on the other brands, but it takes time, and there's lots of development that has to take place. So right now, they're the two that we are working with. So, okay, back to the software. All right, so now you kind of saw a little bit of, there's so much you can do with this software, though. So right now, I'm just in a normal, but I could do a circle for sure and turn that into a circular font, right? And with the text tool selected, I have all kinds of options on how I can move each individual letter. I can add some space between words or characters. I can most certainly undo that, make that work the way it was originally. And all of these icons do something a little bit different. So I can use the rotation tool to move that text still in the same arch, but around to the side. You'll never know, how you want to display your text, what kind of project you're working on. And if that arch is too curved, we can flatten that out a little bit. Most certainly, as much as we want. We can even make it even tighter if you want kind of an oval, right? Your choice. But all of those things are very easy to do. You can change the size. You can, goodness, it's awesome. So we'll just go back to click apply. We can make all of that text italic. Let's go ahead and do that. I love often like to make it italic. It just looks like it has a little bit of movement, right? It looks like it has some action in the word. So italic just gives it that slant a little bit to the right. It's really great on non-serif fonts. It's not really good. I don't really like it on script, but you can play with it. It's an option that you have. And of course, you can uncheck it, click apply, or you can always go and use your undo arrow and you're back to where you started, which is probably what you want. And let's see, Linda Johnson, she says that, yeah, the software gets better and better the more you use it. Yes, you know, software, you can't break it and you can't wear it out. So the more you use it, Linda Johnston is right, the better it becomes. You'll become more familiar with it. You'll learn more tricks and techniques that you can achieve with it. You can't break it, so don't be afraid of it. And let's see, Lydia Andrews, she says she watched Ashley on Tuesday. It was so great. You need to repeat and reinforcement. Yeah, I mean, you know, that's why those videos are stored on YouTube and Facebook. So you can go back and rewatch, relearn, or just really get a great grip on it, right? We don't all learn the very first time we watch somebody do a task. We often have to watch it a couple times and then maybe duplicate it in our own software. And you can have Ashley on the screen and your software on the other screen, right? Either two screens or a split screen, and absolutely duplicate her steps, what she's teaching you to do. So it's really great. She's awesome. Let's see. And Terry Moffat, you want to know, does this work to the new Avenir and Radiance? We are working on that. That won't be available just yet. As you know, those machines have not really hit the market as powerfully as everybody had hoped. So we are also behind. But we'll get to that for sure. Okay, so we had a lot of fun with the fonts. Now let's go ahead into, let's go into this design. Okay, so this is a design that I have in my stash. And right now it's not realistic view. So let's go ahead and click on realistic view, which now makes it look a little prettier, right? So I'm going to select the whole design and it is grouped. And I'm going to leave it grouped for now. How do I know it's grouped? Well, if I try to just select that leaf, I can't do it. The entire design selects. Over here in the sequence window, it actually says group, right? Now, do I want to ungroup it? I'll show you how to do that. There's an icon right here. It says ungroup. And so now I could select that, you know, twig that's coming off the edge and remove that if I wanted to. I don't want to do that. So we're going to undo, and then we're going to select the whole thing and group it. So now it's one item. I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees, and I'm going to copy and paste. Now, I often use keyboard shortcuts. And what's a keyboard shortcut? So that's, I'm actually with my fingers, right, on my keyboard. I am doing Control C for copy and Control V as in Victor for paste. There are icons on this toolbar that I showed you up here that you most certainly can use, right? The copy and the paste up there at the top. But I like to use my keyboard, so that's where I'm comfortable. Okay, so let's get back to this. Now we have these two designs, and we could align them right now. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so they're aligned, but they're not connecting. So to me, that looks a little weird, right? So I'm going to bring this down and connect it right kind of in the V of that, where the twig and the stem kind of branch off. There we go. Now we have it a little bit better. So now when we select it, it's not really going in a flat horizontal line. So let's say I was going to decorate a tablecloth, the edge of a tablecloth, and this border would start to go, kind of south, right? I would start maybe, 4, 5 inches from the edge of the cloth and work my way across the length of the tablecloth. And eventually I would run out of fabric because it's slanted. So easy to fix, super easy to fix. We have these tools in the software that are called, well, first off, we have a grid. That's helpful. We could just click that on and a grid appears, that gray grid. And it just gives you alignment. I don't often, lots of times I turn that off. Depends on what I'm doing. So I'm going to turn it off now. But if I position my cursor in this ruler at the top of the screen and just drag down. So I'm left clicking and dragging down, and I'm going to place that. Right now I just have a single line. So now I'm going to take the whole design, both elements, right? And I want to rotate it by just placing my cursor over that rotation corner. And now you'll notice, man, that's really pretty straight, right? So if I were to repeat that over and over, I would have a really lovely horizontal border is that luscious curve, but it would also be in a straight line, because that's what I want, right? I don't want it to slant. Okay, so now let's go ahead up to the redraw. Oh, and wow, now I have 14 color stops on 7 colors. That's kind of a bummer, right? But I can just select the whole thing. So we'll select the whole thing. And right here, these 4 chips, I just click on that and it's going to sort my colors. Oh, look how fast that is. Now I'm down to 7 colors. So let's go ahead and take a look at what happened. All of the rust, the brown, is stitching first. This kind of khaki green is next. The highlights on the leaves, and then the Kelly green, and then the lighter green. There's lots of greens of this. And then the black outline. All will stitch as one element. So this is really going to make this design stitch more efficiently. Let's go ahead and select that and go to design analysis. And in design analysis, you get a lot of analysis, right? You're going to get a lot of information. You get the name, the folder where it's stored, the date, all those kind of, the size, the stitches, the colors, all of that. Very handy. You also get the colors. So here's your color list. So I find that's really helpful. I can take a quick glance at my thread wall and make sure I have those colors in stock. It even tells you the length of the thread that you're going to need, right? So if you were doing a lace design that was, let's say it was 30,000 stitches, like a large bodice adornment, right? That can take an awful lot of thread. So you could quickly see how much thread you're going to need to stitch out that design, and then take a look at your spool. I mean, you're not going to measure it, right? But you can get you can eyeball it and have a pretty good idea. Statistics, this is kind of telling you the majority of the colors that are used, but look at the production. I love this element. This is telling you how much time it's going to take to stitch. And you can, now it's set at 1,000 stitches per minute, which is probably the highest setting of most embroidery machines, but it's only going to take me 12 minutes to stitch that. That's a handy analysis. I like that. So we'll just click off that, and I think that's a whole lot of fun. Now, let's see. So what if, okay, let's go to another design. All right, let's go over to the cocktail party. Who doesn't like a good cocktail party, right? And again, notice how they come in. They're not in realistic view. They still look fine, but if I click on realistic, now it really looks, well, like maybe a cocktail party is really going to happen, right? Okay, so, and it is grouped, right? Remember, everything is grouped. Now, when you bring in a design, they may not always be grouped. Actually, I don't know the rule about that. I bet Ashley Jones would know, but I don't know that. Anyway, so I'm going to just select it. And I can use this icon up here to ungroup, or I could right mouse click and just select ungroup. So we'll do that, right? Now let's take a good look at this sequence window here. First off, it's all in Madeira thread. Well, I don't own any Madeira thread, and I'm not going to buy any Madeira thread. So I'm going to change my palette, and I just click on that little like swatch book. It looks like a kind of a fan of swatches. And up here, I'm going to select my brand of threads. And my brand of threads is Exquisite Thread 40. It automatically converts all those Madeira colors to my Exquisite brand. And I click OK. And right here in this window, you can now see it's all Exquisite thread. Notice at the bottom, we have 27 thread chips, right? Look at all these colors. So let me get my mouse down here, my cursor. You can see all these different colors, 27 of them. Well, You don't have 27 colors in this design. In fact, if you look at the top of the screen, it tells you there's only 7. So let's go ahead and hit that minus button. And now they're gone, right? We're just clearing our workspace. Just makes it a little bit tidier, a little bit easier to concentrate on exactly what's happening here. All right, so what I want to do is I want to get rid of that cocktail party text. Now, one of the problems of if I just took that whole gray, so let's go ahead and do that, right? I've selected the whole gray color and I'm moving it off. Well, now I've lost my outlines of my champagne and, you know, my old-fashioned glass or what have you. So that's kind of a bummer, right? So we're going to do undo again, put it back where it belongs. And now I'm going to use the lock feature. Oh my, I love this. So what I do is I hover the cursor over in the sequence window and I right click and I go to view and lock. Now that will only lock that color that I selected. But if I select all of it and right click and go to view and lock, they now are all selected. So I can click on this design as much as I want and I can't move any of it. And what I want to move is cocktail party. So I'm going to unlock only that gray element. So now I'm able to use my cursor and remove cocktail party, right? And, you know, just take your time, get rid of that. Now remember, my outline is still active because it's unlocked, that gray. So I'm going to lock that back in place because I don't want to have any problems, right? And now we'll go to our text tool and let's do girls' night. And you know what? I'm going to do it on 2 different lines, right? I've got not only 2 different lines, but 2 different words. So we'll get girls in there. Let's go ahead and make that italic because they're racing over to girls' night, right? Maybe we make it a little bit smaller. Bring that in. Okay, and then we'll select that text tool again, and this time we're going to do night. And click apply. And we'll take it over into that open space. Italic again. There we go. Now, can we change the color? Sure, we could change the color, and maybe we want to introduce a new color. So let's make night purple, right? Really give it its accent. I can play with this. Now notice when I select this, it's a design, right? Because the tool that I have selected is the select tool. So I can move this around just, you know, it's just a design right now. That's what the software is treating it as. But if I really want to change the text, then I select the text tool. And now I can change individual letters. I could change the kerning, the space between the letters, like that's really tight now. So we'll, you know, space them out a little bit more. I can move each individual letter. So you have lots of options there. Just because it is now a design doesn't mean you've lost the ability to edit the text, okay? It just gives you different features whether you have the text tool engaged or the select tool engaged. So again, you can't break software and you can't wear it out. So you should take an embroidery design like this. And the first thing you should do when you have a design like this, like, so let's say it's that cocktail party, save the design, cocktail party. And then right now, save it, make your changes and save it under a new name. Do save as, because you want to assign a new name. So we'll do cocktail, we'll do girls, right? There we go. And now I can mess with cocktail girls and my original design, cocktail, is not harmed, not damaged in any way. So I can have all my fun with the cocktail girls and make my changes. And then I always have that master file, that original file, right? So that's just good practice, definitely. Let's see, just making sure we don't have any questions. So Kathy McWaters, you say you have a brother and you might be able to learn this software. You're a beginner. Kathy, we all started in the beginning, right? We all came to embroidery without any known skills. So maybe you were drawn to machine embroidery because you've sewn all your life, maybe, you know, for your family, or you're a quilter, or who knows what, but now you are an embroiderer. And what makes you an embroiderer? If you own the machine and you have hooped and stitched one thing, you are an embroiderer. So now you can expand your skills, right? And you're quickly going to find out that when you purchase embroidery designs, you love the design that you purchased, but oh, you wish you could just change one thing. I tell you, on the very second time you hoop something, you're going to want to change, you know, what you did the first time. So just embrace that, right? And easy software to use is the way to go. It's going to give you a lot of freedom. It allows you to customize designs. It allows you to purchase designs anywhere, bring them into the software, and make it your own. You can add text, you can change the text, you can change colors, all kinds of things. So good luck with that, Kathy, and I'm glad you're here. We have lots of information for you, tons of videos that will help you in your journey for sure. And let's see, Creative Appliques, Dawn Chase, she said she used that exact design on green round placemats for her daughter, and it's stitched beautifully. Happy to hear that, happy to hear that. Let's see. What happens when you color sort and the leaves are under the stem? That can happen, Amy. That can happen. So I'm not going to go back to that vine, but I'll just kind of show you how we can make that change here, right? So let's say, am I still locked? Okay, so I'm going to select all and right click and view and unlock everything so that now everything is unlocked. And how do you know if it's locked? Well, if you look in that window, I know it's tiny, but you have a plus sign, you have an eyeball, and you have a padlock. So the plus sign, if I click on that, shows me all the elements in that color. So we have a run, a satin, a run, 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 stitch, and so on. We're going to close that. And then the padlock is this locking device that I'm telling you about. So it's very handy. And then this image here is the image of the element that's stitched. And this is kind of a bad example because it's the white complex filled background. So anyway, let's go ahead and take this outline. And I am going to change the order. So I right click and I'm going to put it back to the very back of the embroidery design. And now you can see, I don't see that outline anywhere, right? It's not there. So let's go to the redraw and we'll look up here and we'll travel through. Oh, my outline is stitching first behind all of that other embroidery. So that's not really what I wanted, right? So I'm going to hit undo and put it back where it was supposed to be, but you can manually move that. I am literally grasping that element, left clicking and dragging it up, and now it is in a different position. I'm going to undo, or I can right click and select order and then move it backwards just one color, or forward, or all the way to the back, or all the way to the front. And when we say back and front, let's talk about that. So back means behind all embroidery. It's the number one spot. And that's what's going to lay down first. The to front means it's going to be the last thing that it stitches. So it's going to take it all the way to the end of the design. And of course, just backwards means one element back, and forward means one element forward. So you'll get that down. And what happens if you mess it up? Well, you're not even stitching anything. You're playing in software. So it's fine. You'll take a look. That slow redraw is your friend. You can use that icon to keep watching how it's stitching. And that's how I catch my poor digitizing mistakes, right? I use that and I go, oh, nope, those yellow dots need to be on top of the blue. And so then I'll move the yellow on top of the blue. I'll show you that in just a moment so that you can see. Okay. And let's see, Terry Moffat, you say ETS Plus is an incredible buy for those people who want to edit designs. Yeah, it's so easy. So easy, definitely. Okay. All right, so where are we at next? Let's go over to, we did the character. Oh, hey, well, It's girls' night, and we're happy with this. We want to stitch this on maybe a placemat, right? So we want to print a template. Let's go ahead to File, Print Preview, right? And here we have lots of options. So I'm going to zoom on this a little bit so you can see. And in my settings, so this minus and plus is magnification, right? That's allowing you to see it better. It's not changing the size of the embroidery design. It's just the view so you can see it a little bit better. So let's go into settings so we can see what we have. Okay, so print settings is all about your printer. Like if you have a HP printer, right? That's what how much margin you need on the page. But where it says show, that's what we want to be concerned with. So I always have a check mark in actual size, in crosshair. The color analysis is going to give me my color sequence. I like it in one page if it's possible, for sure. I like a header. It gives me the date, the name of the design, and so forth. Artworks. Now, if I had a note on here, let's go ahead and do that. That's where it would show. So I'm going to cancel this, and I'm going to close this, and let's do the note. So we're going to say party in June. And we'll click apply. And of course, it came in white, so we'll make that purple so that we can see it. And we're just going to put it up there. Now, remember, this is not embroidery. Party in June. Let's make that a different color. Let's make it that blue. This is artwork. So now let's go to print preview. And you see you have that note, party in June. Now, if I were to send this to the machine, party in June would not go to the machine, right? Because the machine does not read artwork. The embroidery stitches go to the machine. But when you print the template, you'll know, oh, yeah, I made this design for that party in June, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and go back into settings. And so I had that check mark in artwork, so that's why it's visible. So let's go ahead and take that out, and I'll click OK. And you can see that party in June is gone, right? Now that note is not there. So go back into settings and put it on there. And you can see now that it's still there. But these templates, this is how you perfect your placement of embroidery designs, right? So I encourage you to work with templates, use them. What is that crosshair? So let's take a closer look at it, right? Let me zoom in a little bit more. So it has a arrowhead on one leg of the crosshair, and that is facing toward the top of the embroidery design or north, right? And it will always be in the same location. Now, when I place that on a garment, let's say, it doesn't necessarily mean I have to place my design absolutely square on the fabric. My option could be to have it rotated a little bit, depending on what I'm stitching, right? But the machine is always going to center the needle over the center of the embroidery design, which is the center of the crosshair. That's why it's so helpful. Okay. So I think that's enough. And what else is on there? Well, here's my color sequence. It's listed all of my thread names and numbers, and it's telling me how many stitches and so forth. And oh, it's beautiful, just beautiful. Okay, and then you would print that out. Now let's go over to these tiles. These are super fun. Let's find a tile. Okay, so here we have, I think this was this last week's tile design? I don't know. Anyway, it's a pretty tile. No, that is this week's design. So let's take a look. The first thing it does is stitch in black, in this blue, and then it's going to stitch the light blue elements, and then the yellow, and then it's going to stitch that box all the way around. Now, one thing that's kind of a bummer is that box is the same color as the blue elements, so the dark blue elements. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to grab that and I'm going to bring it down so that it stitches at the same time as that outline. That just makes more sense, right? I've now eliminated a color stop, right? Instead of having to thread the machine 4 times, I only have to do it 3 times, which is quite handy. Okay, so let's take a look at some fun things we can do with polka dots. So I'm going to go ahead and select that, and we'll do copy and paste, and we'll take a couple of these. Now, some of our other software programs most certainly have editing tools. They have more features so that you can do this a lot quicker. But let me tell you, all you're really doing is copy and pasting. It's not that hard. So look, they're not exactly lined up, right? Not so great. So I'm going to align them in this fashion. And, I want them to be this whole length, right? I want that whole length. So let's line them up again. And then let's use the distribute horizontally tool. Oh, I love that. Isn't that great? So now they are absolutely evenly spaced all the way across the field. And you can also do it vertically. That's what this other icon is right next to it, distribute vertically. So those two icons and the notes are just fabulous extra features that are in this software that you wouldn't expect in such an affordable software, but it makes digitizing and editing designs so beautiful. Okay, so easy to change some colors. Let's go ahead and get rid of them so that we don't get confused. And let's go ahead and select all of these outer corners and let's make them red, right? And let's go ahead and take these blue large elements and make them green. Because maybe you're decorating your table for a summer kind of festive look and, you have really colorful place settings, right? So this coaster, if it was a coaster, it would be really colorful. But there's lots of other options that you can do. You can resize specific elements. So let's go ahead and let's remove, I don't know. Let's go ahead and take this and let's get rid of all the yellow dots. How about if we do that? So I just selected the yellow dots over in the sequence view and I'm just going to move them aside, just get them out of harm's way. I'm going to take one of these and mirror image that and pull it down towards the center bottom and maybe make it a little bit smaller, right? Okay, I think that looks pretty good. So now we'll go ahead and we'll remove these others. We're going to copy that and paste it and rotate it and place it over here in the center. And then select both of those, copy, paste, and mirror image it both ways. And now here we are, we're set. So now we're looking a little bit different. These are looking kind of oversized. So let's go ahead and get rid of them. And both of those. And then maybe let's take all of the green elements and turn them this way. Let's take all of the red and turn them the same. Oh, we don't want to do that. How did that happen? Oh, I think I had that outline maybe selected. Is that going to work? Let's see what happens. Nope, same thing. Okay, so let's undo that and we'll just take this here. Well, they are really designed for a corner, but that's all right. So we'll go ahead and we'll get rid of these three and we'll copy that and paste it and rotate it individually in that fashion. And copy, paste, mirror and mirror, and now they are going to decorate the other two sides. So here we have that element. That's kind of fun. Just a totally different look. We can now take our dots and bring them back in if we want. We could add a monogram to, and these aren't really going to work, and so we'll just get rid of them. But let's go ahead and add a monogram. So the monogram wizard is going to select the last font that you used. And I think I just want to use that fishtail, which is a really elegant monogramming font. And I'm just going to do the letter M and a single letter. And I'm going to enlarge it so that it fits in that space. Maybe that's a little bit too big, but isn't that an elegant and colorful way to decorate, a table, right? So let's go ahead and remove those polka dots. And there you have it. So you can play with this all day. It is so much fun. It's so much fun. Let's see. So Amy Cole says, in the old version of the free dime, it showed the first stitch. I don't see that anymore. I'm sure that it's still there in the free version for sure, Amy Cole. I'm sure that it is. Just maybe take a closer look. Let's see. And the old one showed the start stitch. I don't find. I think it's there. And let's see. Okay, and Maria, you say you only recently started buying and using Dime software and you're blown away. You own other software and it doesn't even compare. Thank you, Maria. We have devoted our careers to making fabulous software that's user-friendly, and we've also devoted our careers to educating people on how to use it so that you don't invest in our software and then you're stuck with a program that you can't use because you've never been taught how to do it. So we encourage you to really take advantage of all the education that we have produced. You know, if you hover your mouse over any icon in any Dime software, you can then use the F tool key and it'll jump you to a quick video that explains how to use that tool. And we've spent a lot of time creating all of that editorial content. So we hope that you take advantage of it because it really is fabulous. Oh, and let's see, Mickey Smith, you says, can I show her how to use it? Okay, I can try. So all of our software is available to demo in demo mode in Embroidery Toolshed. So in our free program and all of our programs, doesn't matter which one you have, you can try any of our other programs. You just can't save the design, but you can get in there and play. You can use any of the features and experiment. Now, I'm not sure that I can do that here because I do have all software purchased. Right now, I have what I call choked down the software and told it I only want my viewers to see Embroidery Toolshed Plus. So that's why there's an activation mark in each of these windows, because that's what I have. So I really can't show you that, but let's see. So there's a manual and a tutorial here, but well, let's undo it, and then you'll see what's going to happen. Like my toolbars are going to expand to show all the different features that I have. But here you would have demo mode, and you could play with any of our other software programs. So I hope you take advantage of that. It's really fun. Yep. And let me see what other new comments we have. Oh, yeah. And Creative Applicates, Dawn Chase, thank you so much. She says, yeah, there are free updates, not for a year, not for 2 years, but for life. So when Microsoft and Apple come out with a new operating system, you do not have to rebuy this software. You only purchase software for us when we dream up a new software program and with really cool features that's a whole standalone program. That's when there's something new to buy, not just when Microsoft or Apple decides that they're going to retire old platforms and just support a new current one. So you will always be compliant with both of those operating systems when you buy Dime software. Thanks for reminding me about that, for sure. And Linda Johnson says, just buy it. You will be delighted, definitely. Okay, well, I think that I did a lot. I think one more thing that I have to show you for sure. So let's go to girls' night, right? Let's put that back on, realistic view. I'm going to shrink it down a little bit. Now, what if I'm going to put this on an apron, and my apron is maybe on a sticky hoop or something like that? It's not really hooped properly. Well, we have, I'm going to go choke down again. Sorry. So that you can just see the icons that are Embroidery Toolshed. So I'm going to select the whole design, and here, click Auto Baste. And automatically I get a basting running stitch around the design. And let's go into the color sequence. It is going to stitch first. The software is smart enough to know to place it in the very first color position so that it's going to tack down your item, whether it's an apron or a napkin, whatever it is, it's going to tack it down to your stabilizer. That's such a handy feature. Now, it does have quite a bit of clearance around the design, right? But you can resize that if you're worried about getting into a specific hoop. So we can make that a little bit smaller, right? And, if you're like me, you don't have to have that basting file around the outside of the design. It could actually stitch inside and underneath the actual design, right? Because it's color number one, and you don't have to stitch it in black. Stitch it in the color that matches the fill that's going to go over top of it, or stitch it in a color that matches the fabric that you're stitching on, and it will never be visible. Okay, so that's another great feature in Embroidery Toolshed. I hope you're going to take advantage of this this software program that we have, because it's on special today, and it is really a deal. $129.99. You download it today. You'll be stitching in 10 minutes. And don't forget, you can send it wirelessly to your brother and baby lock machines. Now, in just a couple weeks, on March 4th, Ashley Jones is going to be doing yet another software success program. And this time it's on applique text. She's going to explore true type fonts and so forth, and she's going to be using a variety of Dime software, so it won't just be Embroidery Toolshed, but it could be, because if you remember in those fonts that I showed you, there was a very beautiful applique font. So we're going to be, and then on the following Tuesday, on the 6th, I'm going to be doing a special feature on applique sew along, so I think you'll really enjoy that. But coming up, we always love it when you subscribe to our Facebook page and YouTube channel, because it lets us know that you are enjoying the content and it's, you know, something that you've been interested in. And, you know, we really haven't seen many of your projects this year on social media. So we're really hoping that you're going to ramp up and post some of your projects using the hashtag Dime Sew Along, hashtag On the House, or hashtag Exquisite Thread. You know, we search every week and we've only really found one or two. So I'm hoping that you will, you'll get to work and, you know, help us boost those projects so that we can share them with everybody. You know, we're always inspired by each other, right? It's the best way to do it. So where do you get our free designs? Well, they're right on our website, dzgns.com, and go to embroidery, the embroidery tab, and click on free designs. And there you will find a free design. And today is this tile. It's kind of reminiscent of the Amalfi Coast or maybe Portugal. And next week, we're going to have a fun project with another tile. So next week is a project that will be featuring On the House, free to you. So I hope that you'll join me then for sure. And in the meantime, take advantage of this special. I hope to see you using your software in very soon. So share your projects with us on social media. We'd love to see what you're up to. Thanks for joining me today.